there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Welcome to our Word of the Day series, where I've been taking your requests for words you would like help pronouncing in American English. Today's words were requested by one of our YouTube viewers, and this viewer wanted to know about the difference between the words in depth, the phrase, and the word index, the single word. So we're going to talk about depth, in-depth, and index today to help you to pronounce these correctly and use them fluently and easily in your everyday speech. So the main difference between, there's one obvious difference between these two constructions, phrase and word, and one less obvious difference. So the obvious difference is the ending of the word. In depth has the P and TH sounds, and of course this might be challenging to produce. Typically when we have multiple sounds at the end of a word, it's often easier to have errors. So perhaps you can do the P sound at the ends of words. You might not have any trouble with a word like deep, but then when you have to say depth and do the P plus the TH sound together, it becomes more challenging. So that's the ends of the words have different sounds. In index, the X sound says also a consonant cluster, the K and S sounds together. So you may have challenges there at the end of the word, and we'll talk about that in terms of pronunciation. But what you might not know is that probably the most significant difference between these two is in the intonation. So in the phrase in depth, I want to have my stress on the word depth. The in is unstressed and unimportant in my sentence. So if I look at something in depth, I want to hear that it's short, long, in depth. And I'm marking that in this phrase with the little line before the stressed syllable. So the vowel is the red tent vowel, eh, same in both words. And then the main challenge here is, as I said, putting together that P and the TH sounds together. So you may just want to try saying the first part of depth without the TH. So try dep and then depth. And you may have to just practice doing the p together. It sounds strange by itself, doesn't it? But basically coordinating that consonant cluster is going to really help you out. So trying in depth. And then when we look at index, we have first syllable stress, so the in part is actually stressed here. As a word, in is usually unstressed in a sentence, but in this word index, we have the in has to be longer and stressed. The vowel doesn't change. It's still a lax vowel, but I need to hold it longer, and then my dex is the shorter part of this word. Again, like with in depth, you may want to break up that consonant cluster and try dec, and then dex, finally index, and you might find that you're having a little trouble sequencing that sound, so work on building those consonant clusters. If you have trouble with something like index, you might try just the word dec and dex, other words with the K and S sounds together at the end. So now let's try these in some short phrases, because once I can say the word by itself, unless I start trying to work it into short phrases and sentences, I might discover that I'm going to talk and it still doesn't come out with the new correct pronunciation. So let's take a look in depth at how to pronounce these two words. We took an in-depth look at the news story. I'm not going to go in depth today, but I have more information for you. Index. There was an index in the book that told me which pages to look at. I keep an index on file for all of the customer names. Check the index for that information. Okay, I hope that helped you with the words, the phrase in depth and the word index. And thank you so much for all of the requests and suggestions that you've made. If you have a word or a phrase you'd like to hear me talk about in this series, please feel free to leave that in the comments for this video or on any of my videos. I do go through and check those comments, share resources, and I'm keeping a list of all of the requests so far. And we are about a month to 6 weeks behind on the requests. So if you haven't seen your word yet, it is still coming. If you're impatient to see it sooner, then you can attend one of our Friday live classes. Ask me the question live in the comments and I'll cover your word or answer your question. I also want to let our members know that today, Wednesday, is the first day of the 5x5 challenge. We'll be having weekly lessons with about a 5-minute video, as well as an accompanying lesson on speechmodification.com to help you with patterns and sounds that you find in these words, to help you with common accent error patterns, as well as going a little bit more in depth on some of the patterns and ideas so that you can take your training to the next level. If you're not a member, you can check out the beginning of the 5x5 series and see if it's something you're interested in. And to join the channel, all you need to do is click the join button and you can check out the membership options. The 5x5 series will be available to all levels of channel member. So the basic members, as well as those who are subscribing at a higher level to access our online courses and our online group classes. I'm so excited to bring you this new opportunity, so I hope you'll check it out. And I'll be back again tomorrow with our next Word of the Day series, as well as on Friday with our free live question and answer class. Also, members, I'll be back on Sunday this week with our members only live question and answer class. Any questions about any of that, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll make sure that you get all the details, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow as well as in Friday's class. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound American, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye guys. See you tomorrow.